This is part 3, 48 Brattle Street. One of the things that you're expected to be able to infer from any building documentation that we have for these buildings are the architectural symbols. So you see these stenciled in section markers, right? I think we can say with some confidence that this, what appears to be B as in baby, section marker sort of cutting through the center of the building. I'm going to draw a line to show what I'm talking about. So this line B here, let's see if I hit it. That's my section the long way, looking in the direction that B is pointing. So even though I'm using an elevation view, we place the section in elevation view, I can look at the south elevation, right? And say with some confidence, we don't need these lines anymore, right? Because they have served their purpose. B is looking north, right? Extending from H on my left to A on the right. Let's go back to level 1. So there's B, H on my left, A on my right. So there's somewhere in the middle there's a set of risers that go up. This is split level, right? So one part of the floor is a different elevation than the other. Similarly, let's draw another line. Through section A, looking east, we're going to see this same stair that we cut through in section, in section drawing B. We're going to see that in elevation. So we're going to see two stairs next to each other when we're looking at this sectional view. And that sectional view would be represented here. It goes from grid line 6 to grid line 2. What's wrong with the picture? I only see one stair. Oh, there's another there, so let's... There's a stair up and a stair down, so that's why. So my stair down is below that level. So let's look at the east elevation again. Right, there's my stair down. There's my stair up. So I'm at level 1. And here's my stair up. Starting here, going that way. And here's my stair down. Right? Do we agree? On that? Yeah, I think that's pretty good. But the slab from which I'm observing that stair is at a lower elevation than the slab beyond. So I'm going to go back to level 1. And the slab that I want to draw in level 1 is actually up to the point of that stair. Let's go ahead and start drawing the floor slab. Architecture, floor. I'm going to use this default 3D generic 12-inch. So if I were doing it just as a big old rectangle, there would be the extent of it. Are we in agreement about that? If I just finished that and said, there's a floor slab there. It's at level 1, okay? And the floor is modeled at level 1, right? And I modeled it there. When I go back to that elevation, I can see that floor that ends at level 1. I need another floor at level, let's give this level a more meaningful name. Let's call it level M, mezzanine. Go ahead and name views, doesn't matter. So, level 1, level M, level 2, 3, 4, 5, basement. So that's starting to come together. Let's go back to my level 1 drawing. So we need another floor slab on this side of the building. But it's going to be a different elevation. So I could either move to level M. Okay, let me do this. Let me go back to level 1. Take that raster image, I'm going to copy it to the clipboard and go back to level M and paste it aligned to this view. I wish there were a way to occlude one part of it, but let's go ahead and draw a floor at this level. Architecture floor. 12-inch generic floor. Remember, I'm drawing on level M now. I think we decided that this would be the extent. Sketch edit mode lines are pink, so there. It doesn't go quite there. Now it includes that. And then it begins wherever that stair begins. These might overlap, but let's just say there, okay? And then finish edit. So there's the second slab. So now when I cut the section through BB, I should see 2 slabs, or an elevation. If I look at my south elevation again, right? I can see my 2 slabs. Really important that so I'm not paying attention to the outline the actual irregular shape of the floor itself right now, but I want to make sure that I have the parameters of the overall bounds of that floor. Now on level 2, that floor goes all the way through. Now let's go to floor plan level 2. I know it's a little deceiving because we can see this drawing, but that's actually the drawing for level 1. So I'm going to hide in this view that drawing and place it again. going to link the CAD. And the same plan drawing, it's going to warn me that that file is already here. All right? So create another instance of it, and I have to unpin it, but now I want to take and move level 2 and center that in the system here. All right? Let's move it slightly and align with the grid lines. So H in my Revit file is going to align that way, and then up and down number 3 in my Revit file needs to be aligned there. All right. Now I'm looking at the second floor in plan. Is the second floor, or is that level M? Oops. No, that's right. That's level 2. So level 2. My floor, let's draw a floor, is going to be the entirety of that. Do we agree with that? Right? I'm ignoring the boundaries of that floor, but right now I have decided something's wrong with this CAD drawing. You've got 2 columns there that look like they're slightly displaced. Is that actually the case in the building itself? That is on the other level, or could they be moved over? That may be a mistake. You see how those aren't lining up? Anyway. Let's go back to elevation, and there's my floor slab at level 2. Level 3, 4, and 5, we're going to have similar shape, right? So if I wanted to simply copy that floor to the clipboard and paste it aligned to selected levels, I'm going to duplicate that floor on level 3, 4, and 5. Watch what happens. So my 3D view, I have very much the outline of the building. Let's turn on some kind of shaded view so we can see a little bit better. So there's a split level, and then 3, 4, level 2, there's a split level. There's level 2, 3, 4, and 5. And there's some stuff beyond, but if you're only populating what happens on the first several levels, you don't really need to worry about the rest of that. We do need a depression in the earth for the site itself, which is going to be basically the outline of about that size. So let's go to grade. And draw what I'm going to call a building pad. Massing in sight, building pad. I'm going to draw it at level grade, and it's going to be roughly the shape of... Oh, for now, let's just start with the extent of my grid. let's say that represents, well, it's got to include this as well. It's got to include that as well, right? All right. So let's include the outermost possible boundaries of the building. And hit OK. And now when I go to my 3D view, I can see that there's a pad. I'm hard pressed to select it. Have I got it there? There's the pad. Okay, now we need a section view so I can see exactly where that is. But let's go to our east elevation, right? So that pad wants to be sunken to the basement level. I probably should have drawn it in the basement. Let's see if I can just switch it. It's still selected, pad 1. Move it to the basement. All right, we can't view it right now because we're looking at an elevation view, but if we cut a section, and that's where now we're going to use our brains and cut 2 sections. Long this way and cross this way. And we want to look in that direction. Does that make sense to you guys? All right, so there are our 2 sections. And if we go to the view, go to that section view, that's exactly what we want from this building. All right? So remember what I've done. We're missing one thing. We're missing, at level grade, there is a slab that's just at about the sidewalk grade, so we haven't drawn that yet. That shouldn't be a big deal. We can copy that slab that we drew at level M and paste it to level grade, but we're not going to worry about that just yet. For all intents and purposes, that's the outline of our building. And our 3D view, right? If I cut a section box through my 3D view, let's go and duplicate this. And turn on my section box. And bring in the boundaries of that section box. All right, let's switch it to hidden line. And let's turn off, turn off the visibility of the CAD drawing to clean it up, right? There's our building. What we still have to do is modify the boundaries of these floor plates so they correspond precisely with the outline, the shape of the floors as they occur in those plan drawings. So we'll do that in lesson 4, and this is the end of lesson 3. Let's save as, file, save as. Brattle Street Part 3, and we'll see you in a few.